Round barrows are the most numerous of the prehistoric monuments, and they are the primary burial place for individuals. It is thought they were brought to Britain by the Beaker people in around 2200 BCE. This burial form remained in use from the Bronze Age and into the Iron Age. Sometimes these burials contained elaborate grave goods, and in some Iron Age burials, the important individual being buried, be it man or a woman, was arrayed in full dress with goods laid by indicating their importance. Now, before talking too much about round barrows, I think as we have already covered long barrows and passage graves in a previous episode, for the sake of completeness, we should talk a little on the oval barrow mounds. So, the oval barrows date from the Middle Neolithic and into the early Bronze Age. The mound is built from earth and stones, typically covering a timber or stone mortuary. It is oval in shape, usually less than 45 meters long, and often surrounded by ditches. And it is at this point in time, it seems, we see a gradual introduction of the round barrows. And some would say that the oval barrows represent a transition from the earlier long barrows, which were used for multiple burials, and the later Bronze Age round barrows, which were used more for individual burials. So then, the round barrows, which are the most widespread and numerous class of burial monument in Europe, can date back to the early Neolithic, but are more commonly found to date from the early Bronze Age and into the early Iron Age. In Britain, most of them seem to have been built between 2200 BCE and 1100 BCE, and they are generally a round mound of earth or stone raised over a central burial place. They are often found in numbers, with some barrows even being inserted into existing mounds. These barrows are often surrounded by a ring ditch, the earth and stone contents of which was used for the construction of the mound. At the centre there is typically a chamber, cist or a cut grave, in which both human remains and cremations placed in vessels have been found. Most of these barrows were raised over the burials of individuals, but some have been found to contain more than one within. It is assumed that these would be members of the same family group. Round barrows can be further classified into subtypes. The simplest of these is the bowl barrow, but other types, and they are called fancy barrows, include the bell barrow, the saucer barrow, pond barrow, and disc barrow. So let's look a little closer at these fancy barrows. Well, the simplest of these is the bowl barrow. And bowl barrows are distinguished by having a roughly hemispherical mound of turf and deposited bedrock over a centrally placed primary burial. Satellite and secondary burials are common within the mound. Bowl barrows are typically between 3 meters and 40 meters in diameter, and anything up to 6 meters high. So now let's look at the bell barrow. A bell barrow is a class of early Bronze Age round barrow found in northwestern Europe and comprising between 1 and 4 earth and stone mounds set within a ditched enclosure. They are called bell barrows because in profile the mounds resemble the form of a medieval bell. It has a flattish top and slightly flaring sides and a beveled skirt around the bottom. Saucer barrows are one of the rarest recognized forms of round barrow, with only about 60 known examples in Britain, most of which are in Wessex. Saucer barrows are circular, up to 40 meters across, with an outer bank and a ditch defining an enclosed space, in the center of which is a low, well-spread mound covering a centrally placed primary burial. The disc barrow is categorized by one or more small, low, round mounds, each covering a central burial and set within a circular or oval ditched enclosure. They're mainly found in southern England, and they date to the early 2nd millennium BC. Pond barrows appear as a circular depression, very well and regularly formed. The spoil is used to make an embanked rim, and within the enclosed central space there is generally a series of pits and or shafts, some of which contain burials. The shafts may be up to 30 meters deep, and pond barrows range in diameter between 5 meters and 30 meters, and are often found as components of round barrow cemeteries. If you've enjoyed this presentation, then please like and subscribe and click the notification bell icon to be notified when a new video is released. Your support is greatly appreciated.